In a few generations, perhaps a century at the most, our moon will be heavily polluted, not with trash from Earth, but with a breathable oxygen atmosphere. So, I recently came across a video by Kyplanet entitled, Should We Terraform the Moon? And, spoiler alert, his answer is no. Now, obviously, if I agreed with that sentiment, I wouldn't be making this short video, but for the record and right off the bat, I'd just like to say that I'm a huge fan of Kyplanet's channel and content. This is just one of those rare instances where we disagree. But if you'd like to watch his video, I've linked it in the description and I highly recommend you do. Just come back here when you're done for my retort. Okay, let's get started. KY starts off by making some very valid points, like terraforming is a vast waste of resources. The moon is ideal for exporting resources and large spacecraft, and the moon is also key to colonizing the solar system. All of these are correct. But where he loses me is why he believes the moon shouldn't be terraformed. Now, he's right in suggesting that the moon will develop an export economy with a dash of tourism, but I fear he's neglecting to consider a side effect of all that wonderful development: waste oxygen. Refining and processing regolith into useful metals is going to require that compounds be broken down into their individual elements. As KY points out, most of the moon's crust is actually oxygen. To free nearly all the metals that we'll need for construction or exporting, it's going to require that they be stripped from their bonds with that oxygen. And even a thin atmosphere like the one Mars currently possesses is more than enough to complicate traditional launches and make railgun launches impossible. Think shooting stars, but in reverse. Now, here's a breakdown of the moon's chemical composition. You'll notice that every compound, every single one, has oxygen in it. Even storing countless millions of tons of oxygen becomes impossible when simply creating oxygen tanks for storage produces, you guessed it, even more oxygen. This is a problem without a long-term solution. Colonists will vent waste oxygen directly into the moon's thin atmosphere, polluting our nearest neighbor with an oxygen-rich atmosphere. Though they can prolong the oxygen-free exosphere of the moon for quite a while by at least one method that I can think of. I just doubt the effort will be made, at least in the near future. Developers on the moon near the poles could capture their oxygen waste, let it cool to the point that it liquefies, then store it in permanently shadowed craters and caves. Locations that never see sunlight reach temperatures cold enough for oxygen to remain stable as a liquid. With a little prep work, permanently shadowed craters would make a nice place to store liquid oxygen long term. And with liquid oxygen, with oxygen becoming liquid at 90 Kelvin, there's plenty of real estate to store giant lakes worth of the stuff. I just don't see developers making the effort, and here's why. Mercury is better than the moon by every single metric, except one: proximity. The moon is far, far closer than Mercury. But Mercury's surface is much richer in metals. It receives 6 to 7 times the sunlight that the moon does. It even possesses, or seems to possess, vastly more ice at its poles than our moon does. Better still, because of its close proximity to the sun, Mercury is actually the closest planet to every planet when you average out the distances. I know that seems counterintuitive, but it's just a fact because it never gets very far away from the sun, so thus it's never on the opposite side of the solar system the way Mars and the planet Venus are. Alright, now this means that an interplanetary spacecraft, as they grow more powerful and launch windows become largely a thing of the past, Mercury will be prime real estate in a busy solar system. At some point, the moon will have to transition away from an export economy and into a tourist hotspot simply because Mercury is going to be the far better alternative. And the best way to do all that is to become a second Earth. Our moon holds a very special distinction that makes it unique in the entire universe. Everywhere you go, you'll be further away from the most beautiful planet in the cosmos, our home, the Earth. And not just in distance, but separated by time as well. First by dozens of minutes, then hours, and finally by years for even the closest stars. Only on the moon will humans be able to interact with Earth nearly instantly. So, take that, Mercury. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and share it with somebody that you love. It really helps tiny channels like mine reach a wider audience. And thank you so much for watching.